I am recording. I'm not giving away a game today. Just not. Because it's not Zach. I only give games to Zach. Um, okay. So um first off, I have leads. I want to give you guys admin privileges on the Discord. So, but you all have weird Discord names. So, Emily, are you here? Hopefully, Emily's here. No, I don't see Emily. Okay, well, we'll just keep moving through. Michael, are you here? Let's see if Emily's actually just nope. I got somebody there's Emily. I got somebody in the 3 p.m. class to tell me how to make people admins. So Emily, what is your Discord name? If you could just type in the chat. Emily is Emily on Discord. So let me find that. Emily is Emily. Okay, you are now a team lead in Discord. That allows you to pin things and make channels and all that sort of thing. Yeah, if everyone would put their names as their nicknames, it would make things easier. But I'll just do it now. Do it real quickly. Is Michael here? Michael Wenning, what's your Discord name? Mike. Oh, there you are. Do I see it? Right click your name, set nickname. Come on, Mike. What's your Discord name? M Wenning. Thank you. Oh, there it is. See? Team leads. Okay. Xavier is Professor X or something, right? Where are you? I can't find anybody on Discord. Zach, Winnie, Jared, Professor X. Okay. He's a team lead. Rachel.
Is Rachel.
Rachel is Rachel. You are a team lead. Zach is Zach. Thank you, Zach, for being transparent. And Jared. What is your Discord name? Jared. Jared is Jared. Okay. Okay. So y'all now have admin privileges in the channel. Or at least, yeah, in the server. So use them for good. To facilitate things. Also, was it here? It's a class. Okay, so you guys want a private lead chat? I don't know exactly how to make a private channel yet. Not sure. Let's see. I can make a channel. I can make okay, got it. And it is now a private channel and team leads. Okay, who can access this channel? Team leads, create channel. Okay, did it. Ba-bam. I am learning things. That means it's a good class because I am learning things. I'm learning all about Discord. I'm learning all about Zoom. So you now have a team leads that is private, and everybody has, but that's only, I can make a voice channel too. Ooh, let's do that. Voice channel, team leads. It's a private channel, and there. Now you can talk to each other. Should be. Where is it? Recruiting. Where's the team leads? Oh, there it is. Why is it not in voice channels? Because it's a
It
private.
doesn't automatically sort itself. You kind of just have to like move it around. I can fix it for you.
Okay, I did it. I put it down in voice channels. That was weird. Okay. Okay. So yes, next things next. So I wanted to do that first. I didn't get this up, but I'm going to do it now. Oop. I am going to call it 3 p.m. ARG organization. And I've got a phone call. That is no one. Get shareable link. And you can edit and copy. Okay. Go there. So right now I have the leads in, and I have Sidekick producer, which is just because we only have 2 producers. Player recruiting, just put your name under player recruiting. You don't have a character. You just have player recruiting, the 3 of you. And everyone else, if you're a writer, an artist, a gameplay, or a tech, pick a character, put your name in. Go ahead, do it right now. I see a lot of colored boxes, but I don't actually see. Okay, there we go. Stuff is appearing. Oh, this is so exciting. This is true collaboration. This is getting stuff done. So remember, these are for structural purposes. They're not restrictions. We still don't have any recruiters. Okay, let me check. Let me see. This is O2 people. Who has not signed up? Okay. Okay, I will email the people who still haven't signed up, because we still need gameplay people, and we need recruiters. So if we assume that all of these people who have not signed up have either dropped the course or their lives have caught up with them, at least for now, no harm, no foul, then those jobs still have to get done, right? So somebody's got to recruit. So remember, the recruiters' jobs are twofold. One is basically to set a schedule for all of you to play the other ARG, right? To make sure that somebody is always playing the other ARG. And here's the kind of wonderful thing about 2 gameplay activities and 2 story beats is once you've gotten those on any given day, you can say, we're done. We can go off and do other things. Before I put those limits on, people were spending hours and hours looking for content, that wasn't there because there was limited contact for any given day, right? Um, so they the creators of an ARG had made so much content, and then usually what you say when you want to take a pause is, hey, I'm jumping in the car. You have a character say, I'm jumping in the car and I'm driving across the desert and there's no cell phone service. As soon as I get cell phone service again, I will contact you all, right? And that way it's on the character to contact the players and say, okay, I'm back. Let me tell you what's happened since last I talked to you, right? Um, so that doesn't always happen. And it's reasonable because this is your first time. You're going to make mistakes, right? Unless some of you have made ARGs before, but I doubt it. So I can tell you what has happened so that you don't make the same mistakes, but you'll make new ones. It's always amazing to me how every year the ARG groups find new ways to kind of succeed and to screw up. It's always a different thing, which is kind of why I love it. So actually, I'm going to get rid of. Never mind. So okay. So that didn't happen. The character didn't say, I'm out of touch. So people were still trying to solve the next thing or find the next thing, and it just wasn't there. But they'd spend hours and hours looking because the internet is vast, right? You could go down all sorts of deep holes at the internet and never come up. And then they'd say, I spent 6 hours trying to find the next thing and it wasn't there until Tuesday. And I'd be like, why? And people were like, I'm failing all my other classes because I'm spending so much time doing this. I'm like, don't do that. Don't. Pass your other classes. So as players, you all know that, I saw a YouTube video and I found a diary entry and I solved this puzzle and I did this other thing, and that's 4 things. And there are only 4 things to do on any given day, right? So I'm done. I could go off and do my other homework. Or, Jared found 2 things and I found 1 thing and Winnie found the last thing. And together we've seen everything. Yay, we can go. So that's the one job of the recruiter. The other is getting people to play, right? And we saw yesterday in the achievements that there's a bunch of achievements for getting more people to play. So one of the things one of the things that I'm seeing in the very in both yours and theirs is how to decide what the story, what is this thing about, right? What happens? So some thoughts about that. And honestly, I'm replying to people as they come in, and I don't remember if it's your class or the other class. So I'm just saying it to both so that everybody gets the same information. Ultimately, the decision for what this is about falls to the producer and the producers and the leads, right? Usually the lead writer with or the writing group with the producers say, this is the big picture, right? that's not to say that everybody can't have a say in it. So one of the things we've done in the past is have whoever wants to pitch, and if you can tell me your story or tell the group your story in 3 sentences or less, uh, post it somewhere, have a central repository for that sort of thing, and then somehow vote on what you want, what all of you want to do. That doesn't mean that you're going to get your thing. The other thing that I always do when I do pitches and voting is I have everybody pick a first choice, a second choice, and a third choice. And then, and I write it on a piece of paper, but you guys will do it electronically, collect email or Discord messages or whatever. I if it's a first choice, I give it 3 points. If it's a second choice, I give it 2 points, and if it's a third choice, I give it 1 point. What generally happens, and that point method is so that if everybody votes for themselves, then everybody gets 3 points, and it really gets decided by second choices, right? Because the one that, well, I really want this one, but I'd be okay with this one. And if that's the consensus, then that will end up getting the most votes, and that'll end up what you're doing. That said, I've had horrible. Well, once I had a really good idea and a really bad idea, and somehow the bad idea won. Um, and we ended up doing the bad idea, and it wasn't great. What a bummer there. So since then, I weight things, and sometimes I add a vote or 3. So um, uh, I guess that's horrible. No free and fair elections. I am a dictator, I guess. So, where are you voting? And you still need to figure that out. You should have, I would say, one of the producers share an email and have everyone send an email with the first, second, and third choice, and collect and count and post the winner. That said, once you have a kind of high level pitch, writers are the first hard work. You're going to do much less writing while the thing is running than right now, because right now every other group is depending on the writers to come up with something so that they can build from whatever the writers come up with. So, lead writer, talk with your group, and once you've decided as a 25-person group on something, lead writer should be in charge of putting together 1.5 pages, 2 pages of what happens over the course of 6 days. What is the bad guy's goal, right? What are they doing while you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on? And you know how we talk about rising action? Another thing we always think about is the stakes. What's at stake here? And if you start on day 1 with someone saying, a character putting out a broadcast, you must save the planet. If you don't solve this puzzle, the Earth will explode. Well, you have nowhere to go on day 2, right? Well, you on day 2, the galaxy will explode, right? So start simple. Start with low stakes so you have somewhere to go to. So if on day 1 it's a little old lady who has lost her cat, and can you help me find my cat? And then you find out that people are kidnapping cats, and there's a rash of cat disappearances all across town. And we find out that they're actually all preeminent scientists kidnapping cats. Why would preeminent physicists, in fact, kidnapping cats? And we find out that they're putting these cats in boxes so that they can change the timeline, because if the cat lives or it dies, it means we've gone on a different branch of the multi-universe theory. So that if we can keep enough cats alive, cats in boxes, we can change the universe for the better. And by day 6, we've saved the universe, right? We've gotten a better timeline, all because we saved enough cats, right? So that's a good build. By the way, I came up with that at 3:00, just off the top of my head, because I wanted to save a cat. Because I was looking at a picture of a cat. Actually, I was looking at a sleeping cat. So that said, if the lead, hold on a sec. Are you still there?
We can all still hear you.
Okay. My computer just, my monitor just lost power, and my computer just, I guess it didn't reboot, but it did something weird. It clicked off and clicked back on.
We're all still able to see you.
Okay. So if the lead is the one tasked, the lead writer is tasked with coming up with that build. The other writers are tasked with coming up with the backstory, the characters that we're going to use in that build. So one of the things you could do, I'd recommend, is go back and grab that character sheet from the first assignment, the co-written story, and create your character using that character sheet. Make your sidekick, make your villain, and you post your 4 characters with backstories, and a present action that's going to happen over the 6 days, and you've basically got a Bible for your arc, right? And that's what we're looking for, is a bunch of not a huge amount of writing, because here's another secret. If you write 30 pages of backstory about your character, no one's going to read it. You're much better with a page and a half, because people will actually read that. Professor Moriarty always says, if you can make a comic book, people will read it. If you write a novel, no one's going to read it. So keep it short, keep it brief, and I would suggest that you decide what you're going to do, and work towards getting that build, that overall what happens during the 6 days by Monday, so that we can come in on Monday, and all the other groups will now be presented with the story as it is thus far, learn a bit about the character that they're going to be working on, and they can go off to the races, right? We can start planning gameplay. We can say, okay, on day 1, what is the major obstacle we're going to overcome? Is it finding a cat? Day 2, is it identifying physicists who have stolen all the other cats, because we saved 1 cat, but there are now 15 cats missing. Oh my God, right? And on and on and on. Sooner you can get everybody pushing that cart up that hill, the better off you'll be. You'll notice that the last thing you have to do is write a post-mortem on the SARG, which is what went right, what went wrong, what you would do differently if you knew at the beginning what you know now. I will tell you what every single post-mortem says. I will share the wisdom of years of previous ARG creators with you. I wish we'd have started earlier. Right? We kind of flailed about for the first week and didn't really get started until the week that the ARG was starting. In fact, a lot of the stuff that we made on the day that it was due. And I wish, and we could have done so much better if we'd have started back when Dean assigned it. So those are not my words. Those are last year's students and the year before students and the year before students. And I tell every year, I tell the class the same thing that last year said, and I'll be telling next year the same thing. Okay. So the sooner you can get started, the sooner you get that decision of what this is about, the better off you'll be. That said, the other thing that comes up every year is, hey, I'm lead tech and I need to register a domain name, and it costs $14. Where do I get $14? Normally what I say is, if everybody in the class chips in $1, you have $25, 14 of which can go for domain names. There is, get the $14 from Dean. No. Just forego your Dunkin' Donuts one day, I say, but there's no Dunkin' Donuts anymore. So usually a collection is taken, and that is your budget. So one of the things the producers should do is be gathering from each group, how much money do you need, right? What and why exactly do you need that money, right? So last year, that's why I'm wearing this hat. Last year they got hats made. Let's see, can you see this? This is a hat for the Crypt Club, Teenagers Crypt Club, Crypt Teenagers Club. That is what it says. They got hats made. And they gave me one, but they had a pile of them. They gave them out to their players. Obviously, you're not going to be giving physical objects out to your players. So you probably won't have cool swag like this. You can have pictures of cool swag like this. But if you pool some, everybody chips in $2, you got $50, right? And with $50, you can actually spend some money and do some cool things. Oh, I don't want to put that on. My head's hot. Okay. So next thing, recruiters, I wanted to talk about rabbit holes. Rabbit holes are the thing that attracts people. I still think papercraft things at the end would be neat. We can make papercraft into a puzzle. Physical stuff is fun. Yes. Print and play. In fact, there was because I never finished this. It's kind of nice being in my home office because I have so much crap from various ARGs here. Okay, I got to turn off my background. Choose virtual background. None. Okay. Okay. So, see this? This was a haunted house that an ARG took place in. And at the end, they had a papercraft thing where you could print out and build the haunted house that you had been investigating, right? I never finished building it because it was hard, really hard. There's like a gazebo attached to it. There's all these little gables. There's still the front walkway that I have to do. And what happens is I have so much mind share to do with these things. And then I'm like, what am I going to do with this when it's done? And it sits here. Papercraft is cool. And anything print and play. You could make a card game that your players have to play and get, or a tarot type thing where you can do things that are physical, but you transmit the information. They download a PDF and print it, kind of thing. Okay, so rabbit holes. These are the attract mode, and normally for ARGs, they just put them out there and hope they go viral, right? Or they wait. So sometimes rabbit holes can sit there for weeks or months before they get a critical mass. So I'm going to show you one. This one's from 2011. Again, here, okay, and let me switch over and share screen, and here, share computer sound, optimize screen sharing. We're going to share this. Okay, video to optimize. Okay, so this is a thing. This was a video that the day that it came out, like 15 people emailed me this link to say, hey, this is right up your alley. So let me play it for you.
This is my Milwaukee.
This is my Milwaukee.
This is my Milwaukee.
This is my Milwaukee too. Why not make it yours? From the glitz of the Canning District to the slow jazz down by the piers, there's always something cooking in Milwaukee. I'm Terry Nenny. Milwaukee's been getting a lot of press recently. Not all of it good. Surely you know what I'm referring to. But the story that's not being reported is that of a vibrant city, getting better every day. Families, good jobs, culture, high technology. Still not convinced? Join me for a closer look.
Milwaukee. Come for the weekend, stay for life.
Okay, so that's well, first off, we've got the VHS kind of look to it. It's 480. Next, it seems like just an out of date kind of 80s-ish travel thing, to promote Milwaukee. The weird thing is, if you look at say here, that. You notice that is the circle. The circle line is a ferry that goes around Manhattan. In fact, all of these shots are from Manhattan. This the fountain. Where's the fountain? I don't know. The fountain that they show is actually from Columbus Circle, I believe. So anyway, okay. So it's a little weird. But he's in Central Park. Okay. Yeah, you can scrub through it with the well, I'm gonna go a little bit more forward. It's a little weird, but it's not terrible. Okay, now I'm gonna go
G certified.
Milwaukee, step up to the streets.
By now, you've probably decided to move to Milwaukee. But relocating isn't easy, especially if you've got teenagers. You'll certainly have to have that big family talk. But before you do that, let me give the kids some fun facts about Milwaukee. Have your wife bring the children into the room during this temporary pause. Sorry, grown-ups. This section's for teens only. Kindly leave the room. Hey, teens. You're moving to Milwaukee. It's America's 22nd largest city. Its chief export is black seed.
Teens.
Milwaukee is an awesome town for teens. Skateboarding, hamburgers, church, toys. You can hoop it up with your friends as long as you follow a few simple instructions and stay out of Sector 21. Here's how.
Teens.
Rule 1, travel in groups wherever you go. Rule 2, never leave home without your rebreather and a flare gun. And Rule 3, if your party is being chased by Godseed fragments, make your way to the nearest structure rated Class K or greater. Don't worry, all our schools are rated at least Class L. And talk about school spirit. Since we're still repopulating the classrooms, there are plenty of opportunities to get involved.
I will not sit down. I will not put that down.
Throw them to the Godseed fragments.
Leave the room and invite your parents back. The kids seem excited.
Milwaukee,
Okay, so that got weird. The Godseed fragments, Sector 21, Class K or better containment facility, something like that. Suddenly we're not in Milwaukee anymore. We're not in the US anymore. Don't forget your rebreather and your flare gun. Things are weird, right? We're in a different world, an alternate reality. So this this video, which is, you can Google it and watch the whole thing on YouTube. It's like 12 minutes long. Yeah, it is a little bit like Welcome to Night Vale. It predates Welcome to Night Vale by a good 5 years, something like that. It showed up on a website called thisismymilwaukee.com, and on that website it was basically looked like a picture postcard with this video embedded in the middle of it, and then down in the corner it had sponsored by the Milwaukee Chamber of Commerce. It wasn't. At this particular address in Milwaukee, which people looked up, and it was a bogus address. And then there was a phone number to contact the Chamber of Commerce. So the day that this came out, I came into class and I was like, oh, I got this weird thing. I showed the video. And I'm like, well, let's call the number. Yeah, it's not around anymore. It ran, this whole thing ran for about 8 months and then ran out of money and stopped. So I called the number in class, figuring I'd get an answering machine of some sort that said something. And it rang, and it wasn't a machine that picked up. It's a guy picked up and said, Milwaukee Chamber of Commerce, this is Joe. And I'm like, ooh, right? Because now I'm talking to a person. So I'm like, hi, Joe. I'm thinking of moving to Milwaukee. And he's like, oh, great. Where are you coming from? And I'm like, Boston. He's like, really? I didn't know anyone was still alive out there. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still here. I'm trying to leave. He's like, well, how are you coming? And I'm like, I figured I'd just load up the kids in the car and get on the highway. And he's like, oh, the highway. You don't want to go that way. That goes through the Badlands and the Raiders are there. And I'm like, oh, geez, well, that's good to know. And we talked for 2-3 minutes about there was something about poison gas, and that company named Black Star in Milwaukee was hiring, and then I don't know how, if he just started going into the phone or if he had some kind of noise making machine, but the call started breaking up. And we were still trying to talk, and then it dropped. And, it was 2-3 minutes of talking, and then I tried to call back, and it just rang and went to voicemail, and it just said, if you have a message for the Milwaukee Chamber of Commerce, leave. But I called back three or four times, and he wouldn't pick up again. So there was a forum at the time called Unfiction, where people who were into this sort of thing were posted about. There was a whole area where you posted, hey, I found this weird thing on the internet. Do you think it's an ARG? And 9 times out of 10, no, it was just a weird thing on the internet, because the internet is weird. But in this case, it was an ARG. And so people started posting, hey, I talked to Joe, and he told me this and this and this, and I asked him about this. And then we started pooling our resources and saying, well, I asked him about this, you should ask him about this. Because every time they'd talk for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then the phone call would get dropped. Right. So you basically had a 2-minute window to get some information out of Joe. And then at a certain point in the day, and this was the same day this video went up, it kind of blew up, went viral. And after like 5 o'clock Eastern time, not Central time, but after about 5 o'clock Eastern time, Steve started picking up instead of Joe. And Steve was grumpier than Joe. Joe was very helpful. Steve didn't want to talk to anybody and would yell at people. But people were still picking their brains, and it went on like this for a good week of people analyzing the video. The other thing, on the website, there was a countdown. And based on, and it was just a really big number that was slowly counting down. And so based on, because the internet is full of people who have time on their hands. Somebody timed how many numbers it went down in a minute, and then calculated how many minutes worth of numbers there still were in the countdown, and determined it was April when we found it, and said this will reach 0 next January. So everybody was like, huh.
Wow.
Well, that's something to look forward to, I guess. But this spread far and wide, and pretty soon I ended up applying for jobs in Milwaukee. I sent a fake resume. I took a picture of myself holding a fennel, because if you watch the video, fennel is part of the whole mythology, and they asked people to show their god seed fragments, right, which was a fennel, and it ended up the following January in Central Park with a bunch of players fighting a robot by holding up fennel and yelling "Bonub, Bonub, Bonub" over and over again. And the energy from the fennel and the magic word damaged the robot. And he ended up exploding, which meant he reached into his pocket and threw a bunch of paper and ran into the woods. And then everybody picked up the paper, and it was something they had to put together that led to an address that led to a cafe where those 3 women who you saw walking down the street at the beginning of the video were sitting there, and they handed a diary to the people who went to the coffee shop. And we followed all of this online because I didn't have the time or the money to go to New York. And so the question was always through the whole thing, what's this for? Right? Why are they, when are they going to advertise to us? When are they going to say the new movie, the new game, for a while we were pretty sure it was a brand of almonds that they were going to advertise. And there wasn't anything. It was not an advertisement. It was just its own thing. The truth of the matter was it was an up-and-coming marketing firm. And their plan was to make an ARG, become really, really popular, and then go get sponsors and sell almonds to us, right? And get the money to sustain the ARG from sponsors who would see how popular it was and sign up. And the truth was that they didn't get the numbers that they expected to get, even though those of us who were into it were really, really into it. And when they ran out of money, they stopped. And it became, and you could go, let me play you the end, because we're almost out of time. So let's go here. Yeah, okay.
glad you found me, Terry. I thought I was toast.
Here's your ball back, kid. Now for a slam dunk of my own!
And yeah, that's how it ends. So it's got your anime J-pop music at the end, and then it cuts to some other weird band. But the one thing you notice there, it said Cinedyne 2008. Cinedyne was the company that made this, and you could go to cinedyne.com and find this on their portfolio. So that was a cool rabbit hole. That was the attraction that got people saying, "The hell." The thing is, and this is a huge thing for you guys. Remember, they started in April and it ran till the following January. So the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe. It did look terrifying there, Sugi. Was all just this video sitting there and calls to Joe and Steve, and that was their attract mode. I'm interested in this. I'll sign up to receive more information, and I'll wait because I've got my life to live. One of the things you all should do is make it clear in the rabbit hole in the beginning that this whole thing will be over on Monday. It starts on Wednesday, finishes on Monday, so that people who are interested don't say, well, don't become casuals or drive-bys and say, well, this looks really interesting and I really want to be a part of it. I'll check back when I'm done with this other thing late next week, right? And by the time they check back, it's over. So you've got to let them know the time frame at the very beginning in order to get people to play, essentially. Okay, so I am out of time. Please go decide what your story is. Use your fairies, and writers get writing. Okay, have a good weekend.
Do you need to talk to